Hello guys, this is CodeNCode and this is second lecture of this number theory series. And in this lecture we are going to study about Sieve of Eretosthenes. So let's start the lecture. Why we need Sieve? So first of all, if you are given Q queries, Q is roughly 1,000,000, and in each query you are given an input n which can be as large as 10 to the power 6, and each time you have to print whether the given number is prime number or not. So if you have like 10 to the power 6 queries or 10 to the power 7 queries, you cannot each time go and check whether the given number is prime number or not in square root of n time. If you do so, the overall complexity would be 10 to the power 9, or in worst case you have to do 10 to the power 9 operations, and that would result in TLE. So what we can do is we can simply apply Sieve, which can generate all the prime numbers in the range of 1 to n in n log n time, and then we can answer each query in constant time, and which requires extra space of n. So let's see what Sieve is. Now we take an array of size n up to which we have to generate prime numbers. In this case n is 50. So we initialize all the elements of array as 1, that is prime, and since 1 cannot be prime, so we initialize array of index 1 as 0. So we initialize 1 with 0 and the rest of the numbers as 1. Now we start from 2 and we loop through 2 to n, and then if the current element is 1, is having a value 1, then it is actually a prime number. So we start from 2, since 2 is having a value 1, hence it is a prime number. So what we would do is we would go to all the multiples of 2 and mark them as 0, because multiple of a prime number cannot be prime number. So we would go to 4, 6, 8, 10 and so on, all the multiples of 2, and we would mark them as 0. Now our pointer would increment and it would become 3. Now since 3 is also marked as 1, that is prime, hence we would go to multiple of 3, all the multiples of 3 except 3, all the multiples of 3 except 3, and we would mark them as 0. So we would go to 6, but 6 is already marked, so we would go to 9, we would mark 9, and then 12 and 15 and so on. We would go to all multiples of 3 and then mark them 0, indicating those are composite. Our pointer increments equals to 4. Now 4 is 0, so it is not a prime number, so we would do nothing but increment, so we would reach to 5. Now 5 is a prime number since it is marked 1, so we would go to multiple of 5 and then mark them as 0. Now you see, the first multiple that we need to mark would be 25, that is square of 5. You see, first multiple we don't have to mark because it is prime, first multiple of 5. Second multiple of 5 is 10, which is already marked. Third multiple of 5 is 15, which is already marked. Fourth multiple of 5 is 20, which is already marked, and the next multiple of 5 is actually 25, which is a square of that prime number, and that is not marked. So we would start from square of prime number and then we would start coloring or marking 0 all the multiples of 5 starting from 25. So 25, 30, 35, 40, 45 and so on. So we would mark all the multiples of 5 starting from 25. Now our pointer would increment and would become 6. Now 6 is 0, so it is not a prime, so we would move on. We reach to 7. Now 7 is a prime number, so we see the first, second, third, fourth, fifth and second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth multiple of 7 are already colored. So second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth multiple of 7 are already colored, so we have to start from the seventh multiple of 7, that is square of this prime number, that is 49. So we would start from 49 and would from there on we would mark all the multiples of 7 as 0. So 49 is marked 0 and there are no other numbers ahead of 49 which are multiple of 7. Now our pointer would increment to 8, but we have to stop here. Why? Because even if it is a prime number, then all the number that we have to mark are above 50, because the first number that we have to mark is actually starting from square of that number. So suppose 8 was a prime number, then the first multiple that you have to mark as composite would be 64, as we have already seen. Now since 64 is already out of the bound, so we would simply stop. So all the elements remaining which are marked prime are actually prime number. So 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17 and so on, these all are prime number. So we have to run a loop from 1 to square root of n, that is square root of 50. Square root of 50 would be 7 point something, so we have to run a loop till 7 only. And then whenever we find a prime number, starting from its square, we would mark all the multiples of that number as composite. Now why we have to start from square? See, if you take an example of 7, then multiple of 7 that we have to mark can be written, multiple of 7 can be written as 7 into n, where n can be 1, 2, 3 and 4. N is equals to 1 means first multiple of 7. So first multiple of 7 would be 7, and we don't mark is at as composite because it is actually a prime number. So we start from the second multiple and so on. We mark all the multiples of 7, but we start from 7 square, and for rest of the numbers, that is if n is less than 7, that is all the multiples below 7th multiple of 7, that is second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth multiple, we don't have to mark them because those are already marked. And the reason is that when n is smaller than 7, then n would be multiple of some other prime number, and while we were marking for and those prime number would be smaller than 7, of course, because n is smaller than 7, then n would be either prime number smaller than 7 or would be composite number smaller than 7. For example, 5. If n is equals to 5, of course n is 5 is smaller than 7, and also 5 is a prime. So if n is 5, so it would become 35, and it would become 35, and then it would already be marked out because of prime number 5. So we don't have to worry about that. And even if n is a composite number, it would be multiple of some other prime, and while we were marking for those prime, for example if n is 6, so 6 is multiple of 2 primes, 2 and 3. So while we were marking for 2, we would have already marked 42 out. So we don't have to worry about all the numbers n which are smaller than the prime number itself. So we have to start from the square of prime number. So that is why when we reached 7, we have to start coloring all the multiples of 7 which are starting from square of that number, and then so on. So all we have to do, we have to initialize the array till n as 1, that is as prime, except 0 and 1, because those are not prime. Starting from second number, whatever is the first number that we find is which is written as prime is actually prime, and using that number we cross out all the multiples of it which cannot be prime, because any multiple of prime is not a prime. And why it happens that if none of the numbers, if the ith number is not colored composite, then it's prime, because if for every number which are smaller than it, if no prime number is able to divide this number, if this number is no multiple of other prime number which are smaller than it, then it have to be a prime number. Take example of 17. If no number below 17 is able to divide 17, then 17 have to be a prime number. And if someone divides it, hence it would not be a prime number. And if someone was there who was dividing 17, then it would already been marked as 0. But since it is not marked 0, hence it is not a prime number. So if you see at the implementation of the Sieve, then we take an array of size 10 to the power 6, and we define max n as 10 to the power 6. So we run a loop from 1 to max n, and we mark all the numbers as 1, that is we mark them as prime number. But since we know 0 and 1 cannot be prime number, so we mark both of them as 0. Now the rest are marked as 1. So we start from 2 and go till square root of n. So while I square is less than equal to max n, that is I is less than equals to square root of n. If the ith number is a prime number, then we start from its square, and for till max n we mark every multiple of I. So each time j would be incremented by I. So j is like 70. If I is 7, then j would be 49, that is square of 7, and then each time you keep on adding 7 to get the next multiple, and for each next multiple you mark it as 0, that is it is not a prime number. So this is how you implement Sieve, and the running time of this algorithm is n log n. For the proof of this, you can go to this website, CP algorithm. Just give me a second. Yep. And here are also other algorithms which you can study. So you can go to CP algorithm and you can see the running time analysis of this algorithm, which comes out to be n log n. If you have studied, of course you would have studied about summation and integration, so it requires a little bit of knowledge of integration and summation, and then you would be able to finally come up with the formula or upper bound of the running time of this algorithm, which would be n log n. So I hope you have learned something from it, and till the next video, just keep coding. Thank you.